The Seattle Seahawks released Tyler Lockett, and on the same day, DK Metcalf requested a trade from the team. Now, during the combine, there was rumors floating around DK being traded specifically to the Green Bay Packers, but with the Seahawks cutting ties with a veteran that they've had at receiver for a long time, and potentially trading one of the top receivers in the league, it looks like they're entering a pretty interesting window. Maybe they're going to try to stack up on draft picks and rebuild and try to focus on this team's future. And with that being said, today we're going to be rebuilding the Seattle Seahawks in Madden 25. If you enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. So we're going to go ahead and hop straight into it, starting off with the offseason, seeing what players we need to re-sign. We do still have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf on the team. We'll get into cutting Tyler Lockett and trading DK later. But for now, I definitely want to pick up Charles Cross's fifth-year option. I've actually really liked him as a tackle in the league. Even though the Seahawks line has been pretty iffy the last couple years, I think Charles Cross is, the silver lining of the Seahawks offensive line. Ernest Jones, only being 25, I definitely would like to have him around. I would even give him a 4-year deal for $32 million. And for whatever reason, he's not interested in signing. And I did just now notice we do not have much money. I'm okay with letting Jaron Reed go. Same with Trey Brown. I think pretty much every single one of these players we're going to be letting go. And then I'm going to try to get Ernest Jones back in free agency, or maybe we could see if there's a potential upgrade there as well. So let's get into free agency. Let's cut Tyler Lockett, and let's see what value we can get out of DK Metcalf. So we have officially released Tyler Lockett, and I think I am going to go ahead and trade DK Metcalf to the Packers, probably. I really like him as a fit in Green Bay. I think him and Jordan Love would build a pretty good connection. And DK on a team where he'd instantly be the wide receiver one. And I don't want to say a thin receiving core, because the Packers have a lot of receivers, but they really don't have a true one. I do think they would be a perfect landing spot for him. Now, when it comes to his value, somebody like DK and a team like the Packers, with them having a late first rounder, I do think he would at least go for their first round pick. I'm not sure if there would potentially be more in the trade. There'd probably be a couple pick swaps, but I could really give a about doing that right now. So I'm going to do the Packers first round and their second round pick next year. I know this will go through in the game. I don't know the exact value that he's going to go for, but with him only being 27 and him, now that he's requested a trade, probably the best receiver option there's going to be in free agency, I think this is fair value. So let's go ahead and send this through. The Packers do accept, so we got some extra draft picks to work with, and we do unfortunately cut ties with DK Metcalf. So as you can see, our receiving core is now very thin. So we definitely need to add some youth at the receiver position. Our interior offensive line, just like the Seahawks in real life, looks pretty awful. And then defensively, we now have a hole at middle linebacker that we need to address. But outside of that, I do kind of like the defense, so I'm not too worried about it right now. And then I do think in this year's draft, I might take like a late quarterback, like a Jalen Milroe or a Jackson Dart. Try to get somebody that be a safety net for when we do inevitably have to move on from Geno Smith. Now, Trey Smith technically shouldn't be here because he got tagged by the Chiefs. He's not interested in us anyway, so I'm not going to be going for him. Now, Nick Bolton, on the other hand, is somebody I would definitely be interested in. And then, honestly, we have a very good secondary. I wouldn't hate getting somebody like Asante Samuel to kind of finish out the DBs. However, he's not interested, has 10 teams giving him offers right now, so I don't think that's somebody we're going to be able to get. I might go for Ryan Kelly, and then we could go for Brandon Scherf as well. I think that'd help us out a lot for this season specifically. Ooh, Will Fries is here as well. We could pretty much complete the rest of our offensive line for at least this season if we could get all three of these guys. So we're going to overpay a little bit for Nick Bolton, but this is somebody we could have long-term on this defense, and I think will be very valuable, so I'm okay with doing that. We are tied for Ryan Kelly. He's probably one of the ones I'm the least interested in out of the players we're going for. So if he does go to Minnesota, that's fine with me. But we're the only offer for Brandon Scherf and we're the only offer for Will Fries. So we're going to go ahead and send these through. I expect us to get 3 of these 4 players here in the first wave. And they do all sign, and we actually got all 4. So we basically completed the offensive line. Will Fries could be here for a while. I do think Ryan Kelly and Brandon Scherf will probably just be a 1 or 2 year thing, but it'll definitely help for this season. And just like that, we have completed the offensive line, and we've filled out our hole at middle linebacker. I do still think we could probably use one more, but if Tyrese Knight has to be a starter this season, so be it. I do think with our first round pick in the draft, after losing DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, we should definitely be looking to go for a receiver. I don't really know who's going to fall to our late pick. We are using the real-life prospects. And then later in the draft, I did mention I wanted to take a quarterback. I would like to upgrade our edge rushers at some point. I don't think we'll do it in this season's draft. Boye Mafe and Madden franchise is actually very good. So maybe if a DB falls to the second or third round, that's somebody we could take. But let's go ahead and hop into the draft here. We do have 2 first-round picks to work with. So let's see what we can add to this team here. So Cam Ward does go number 1 to the Titans. Trevor Sanders falls to the Raiders. Travis Hunter goes to the Jags. The Giants got Abdul Carter with Shador still on the board and with Travis Hunter still on the board. This is the best draft class I've been able to find. There are a few things wrong with it, but in Madden franchise, that's just going to be the case for everything. If you didn't see my Commanders rebuild, I don't know much about this draft class specifically other than the top names, of course. I still got to do a little bit of my homework, if you know what I mean. So there will be a day where I know a lot of these players, but as of right now, I don't watch college football, so I don't know who most of them are. I'm not going to go Ashton Jeanty. Obviously, we have good running backs. Jalen Milroe is somebody I'd be willing to take in the second round, maybe. I'm not going to take him here in the first round. Isaiah Bond is somebody I think that could work really well for us in the slot. He has A catch and traffic, even with his small size, elite excel, elite agility, and elite speed. And like I said, A catch and traffic, B short route. C to F awareness worries me a little bit. His overall probably isn't too high. I don't know what his dev trade is, but I like this pick a lot. We're going to go with Isaiah Bond here with pick 18. 35 in true value, so he's close to a round 1 talent. He does only have normal dev, but 98 speed, 98 excel. If we could get this guy to put up some stats, year number 1, and get him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, this guy could be a very good receiver on this team for the rest of this video. I'm still not ready to go quarterback just yet. I wouldn't hate taking a DB, but another thing I wouldn't hate doing is trying to get somebody on the defensive line. Our defensive line is aging. Leonard Williams is very good in this game, but who knows how much longer we're going to have him around. If we could find a replacement for him right now so that when we lose him, we don't have to try to grasp for straws, that would be great. So we could go with someone like Deon Walker, who has elite strength, B block shedding, A power moves, and B tackle. I think this will be a great replacement for whenever we do end up losing Leonard Williams. So we're going to go ahead and take Deon Walker here with our second pick in the first round. Ranked 54 in true value, but he does have a dev trait, so I don't think he's going to do much his rookie season, but I do think down the line he will be a very valuable piece to the team. Now, Jalen Milroe did get drafted to the Browns here. We could try to go with the receiver or a DB, but Jackson Dart is still on the board, and I do think this is somebody that we could use after we do lose Geno Smith. I don't think he has a dev trade or anything, but if we could win a decent amount of games while he's on the bench, he'll get good morale and his stats will start to grow, and then by the time he's a starter, I do think he could be decent. Elite strength, a good throw power, pretty good accuracies. He honestly doesn't look terrible in this draft class, and I do like Jackson Dart as a prospect, so I'm going to go ahead and take him here in the second round. This might be a little bit of a reach, but I think locking down a quarterback right now whenever we have an aging Geno Smith on the team is going to be very helpful. Only normal dev as I expected. We just need to have a couple winning seasons before we have to throw Jackson Dart into the lineup, and hopefully his overall will be high enough that he can compete and actually be a good quarterback. And then the third round will probably be the last pick I make before I hand it off to the CPU. I wouldn't hate just trying to get a guard here. The offensive linemen we did sign in free agency are all older. And Logan Parr has A awareness, so he should be a pretty good overall. And he has B pass block, A pass block, finesse. Let's go ahead and take Logan Parr. I do think he'll be slipped into the lineup eventually once our aging offensive linemen are off the team. Pretty bad value where we drafted him at. He's only normal dev. I did kind of draft for needs in this draft, which good teams in the NFL do not do, but this is Madden franchise, so I'm going to do what I want. And so that's going to complete our first draft. Let's go ahead and get into the draft recap, see how this team is looking going into the first year of this rebuild. I don't hate what we did in that draft. So looking at the draft recap, we did get a 74 overall receiver in the first round. I will definitely take that. We're going to play Isaiah Bond in the slot. We're going to try to get him going early, see if we can get him Offensive Rookie of the Year, which will be hard with how many quarterbacks are in this, but Cam Ward went to the Titans, and Shador went to the Raiders, so we won't really be competing for the NFC Offensive Player of the Year, which should make it a little bit easier. Deon Walker, I think, was a good pick. Again, I don't think he's going to do much his rookie year, but I think having him now will be helpful. And Jackson Dart's a 70 overall, so if we could have like one winning season under Geno, maybe get Jackson Dart up to like a 73 or something by the time he gets thrown in, I do think it could work out with him. Also, bro, Jackson Dart has to be the sickest name for a quarterback. Can we just talk about that? So Deon Walker actually will end up being our second D tackle being rotated in, so I do think he should put up some stats here in his rookie year. JSN would be nice to have in the slot, but he's going to progress regardless, and I need Isaiah Bond to have a good season right now, so we're going to start him in the slot. And normally with the Packers playbook, which is what I plan on running, the slot receiver will get a decent amount of yards, but a lot of touchdowns. So if we could get Isaiah Bond a few touchdowns here in this first season, I do think we could maybe win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And getting that dev up for him will be super valuable for the future. Now, although we did get a receiver this year, our receiving core is still thin, let's not deny it. And I do think outside of our two very good corners, we don't have much outside of it. So we're going to go ahead and scout receivers and corners for this first year. And then I do think we have a team that's good enough to make the playoffs here. So we're going to set our season goal to make the playoffs this season. The Seahawks are decent in franchise. I think if we get us the right playbooks, we definitely could have a very good season. So we're going to go with the Green Bay's offense. And honestly, the Seattle defensive playbook is very good in franchise. So I'm going to try it out for this first year. If it doesn't work, we'll switch to like the Rams or something. I don't know. Defensive playbooks are weird sometimes, but we're ready to get into this first season of this rebuild. We're going to sim to the midseason. I'm hoping we can at least be above 500 here at the midseason. We are only an 81 overall. But like I said earlier, we need to have a good season so that Jackson Dart can start to develop even while he's not playing. So let's get to the midseason and let's see how the team is doing. And that is perfect. We are sitting at 4-3 here at the midseason. We are coming off 2 losses, but we have a pretty winnable game here against Minnesota. I think we could beat Pittsburgh and then beat Carolina. So there is a world where we go to 7-3 after these next 3 weeks. But first, let's take a look at the stats and see how everybody's playing as of right now. Geno Smith is 6th in the NFL in passing yards with 1,700. He has 11 touchdowns, a few too many interceptions, sitting at 6, but I think he can clean that up a little bit. The second half of the season, maybe win a couple more games. Kenneth Walker is very good in this game. He's averaging almost 4 yards a carry, has 9 touchdowns. And Zach Charbonnet as the backup, averaging over 5 yards a carry and has 2 touchdowns as well. And Isaiah Bond is our leading receiver as of right now with almost 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. If he can keep doing this in the back half of the year, he'll have over 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns and will easily win Offensive Rookie of the Year and get that dev up that we're trying to get right now. And then defensively, I want to make sure we're getting some pressure. Boye Mafe, 4.5 sacks. He's very good in this game. Leonard Williams, 3 sacks and 7 TFLs. 2 sacks out of Byron Murphy. We got 3 picks out of Witherspoon. We got a Tyrese Knight, who I was worried about being a starter, but he has 45 tackles and 2 interceptions. I'll definitely take that. So honestly, the team's playing better than I would have expected. The only person that's not playing crazy is Geno Smith, and we have his replacement for whenever the time comes. So let's see what players are ready to negotiate right now. I do think Geno Smith's contract should be up. We're not going to re-sign him. If he has a really good season, we'll consider bringing him back for 1 more year next season. We're going to start off with Kenneth Walker, who I obviously would like to bring back. So we're going to give him a 4-year, $40 million deal, which he does accept. We locked him down for 4 more years. Tariq Woolen, another player we obviously want to bring back. Also, can we talk about how Tariq Woolen has superstar in this game and not Devin Witherspoon? What's up with that? But we're going to give Tariq Woolen 4 years, $64 million, which he also accepts. Damn, Boye Mafe is having a good season, but he's not interested in the team whatsoever. If I could get him on a 3-year, $33 million deal, I would definitely take that. I don't know if he's going to accept this, though. He actually does. That's huge. Abraham Lucas isn't the craziest overall, but he's only 26. And with the rest of our offensive line being older, I do think trying to lock Abraham Lucas down for a couple more years could be valuable. So we're going to give him a 2-year, $22 million deal, which he also accepts. Nobody's turned us down yet, so that's great. Noah Fant is somebody I think we could definitely replace. Same with Draymond Jones. Brandon Scherf, if he doesn't retire, I'd rather re-sign him at the end of the year because he'll be cheaper and a lower overall. I addressed Geno Smith already. Rayshawn Jenkins is somebody we can replace. I think we're going to come back at the end of the season, take a look at the rest of these, and we'll obviously have the 5th year for Devin Witherspoon and JSN. So we got a lot of players re-signed. Let's go ahead and set our national scouting focus. It looks like cornerback is a strength of the class, so we're going to set our scouting focus to corner. We'll know what kind of talent all the corners are in the draft, and then once I get to the focus players, I'll pick a few receivers and a few positions I think we could use. But as of right now, let's just get to the end of the season. Let's see if we can hopefully make the playoffs. Make the playoffs here year 1. That would be awesome, honestly. But like Seattle in real life, I do see a world where we go like 9-8, 10-7, and just miss it. But let's get to the end of the season and let's find out. And we actually did finish 10-7 and just made the playoffs. We did not win the division, but I'm glad we got a playoff berth at least. And we're going to be going against the Green Bay Packers, so this could be a DK Metcalf revenge game. But first, let's take a look at the stats, see how everybody did this season. Geno Smith threw 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns to 15 interceptions, which is a decent amount, but he played good enough to get into the playoffs. Jackson Dart, I do think, is going to end up being our starter next season. Kenneth Walker with a great year, 1,200 yards, 4.1 per carry, and 20 touchdowns. That's insane. And Isaiah Bond, this has to be Offensive Rookie of the Year numbers. 1,100 yards and 13 touchdowns as a rookie. If he doesn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year, we got hosed. And JSN, even with 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns, if Isaiah Bond did get his dev trait, we're going to be playing JSN in the slot from now on, but I really just wanted to develop Isaiah Bond. But Miles Boykin also had a decent year. Noah Fant wasn't bad. Defensively, Tyrese Knight actually led the team in tackles with 112. We got 8.5 sacks out of Boye Mafe, 7.5 out of Leonard Williams, 7 out of Derek Hall, and Deion Walker as a rookie with 3.5 sacks and 7 TFLs. That's not bad whatsoever. And Devon Witherspoon got 8 interceptions. Devin Witherspoon had 72 tackles, 3 TFLs, and 8 picks. He might have won Defensive Player of the Year. 3 picks out of Tyrese Knight. He also had an insane year. 2 out of Nick Bolton, 2 out of Kobe Bryant, 1 out of Woolen, Tyler Hall, Jenkins, and Julian Love. Let's go ahead and hop into these awards. We could have won Defensive Player of the Year, and I hope we won Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's what we're looking for here. MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. Offensive Player of the Year is going to go to Saquon Barkley. We did get a vote for Kenneth Walker. He came in 9th place. Defensive Player of the Year is going to go to Dre Greenlaw. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw were number 1 and 2. Devin Witherspoon at number 5. I guess these guys just had insane years. But here's what matters the most. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Isaiah Bond. This was a great pick. We used him the way we wanted to, and this was awesome. I guess Quinn Ewers went to the Giants and had a decent rookie year. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Kenneth Grant to the Cardinals. But seeing Isaiah Bond win Offensive Rookie of the Year is absolutely great. So when Jackson Dart does step in, he'll have JSN and Isaiah Bond, who should be star or superstar at the time, to throw to. So that'll be great. We have a playoff game here against the Packers. This is the DK Metcalf revenge game. We're just going to go ahead and sim past this, get to the divisional, see if we can maybe beat the Packers in the wild card. I don't think we're going to, and we don't, which is honestly fair enough. They were better overall. They had a better record. I'm not too mad about it. So let's hop into the offseason. Let's see what dev trade Isaiah Bond's going to have. Let's move on from Geno Smith. It's going to be Jackson Dart's year next year. I think it'd be really cool to rebuild the team around Jackson Dart. If he really sucks, and after his season we have like the first overall pick, we'll definitely move on, but I really do want to try to see if we can make it work with Jackson Dart. And the Packers actually ended up making it to the Super Bowl, but they lost to the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen gets a ring finally. And we actually won Offensive Rookie of the Year for the entire league, so that's big. We should have gotten a dev up for that. I'm hoping we somehow jumped all the way up to superstar. I don't know if he'll go straight to star or if he's able to get 2 dev ups from it. And no, he does go up to superstar. So when Jackson Dart steps in, this all went according to plan. When Jackson Dart steps in, he'll be a 73 overall. He'll have an X Factor Kenneth Walker. He'll be able to throw to JSN, Isaiah Bond. He'll have a good offensive line. If we need to replace Brandon Scherf, we can. And then the defense looks good as well. Tariq Woolen got a dev up. He's now up to superstar. I think we're going to need a new safety. We might need to add to the pass rush group a little bit, but I really do like where we're headed with this team. I can't lie. So let's go and take a look at our contracts, see if we missed any here at the midseason. We do have the 5th year for Witherspoon. This is a little bit expensive, but it's just another year we can push off having to actually re-sign him, so that'll be great. We'll pick up the 5th year for JSN as well. Noah Fant, I think we're going to let go. There could be a tight end in free agency. If not, they're pretty easy to draft, and I could also just get him in free agency as well. Draymond Jones, we're going to let go. I do want to try to get Brandon Scherf back for 1 more year, but I just feel like if we do let him hit free agency, I don't think teams will be interested. We could probably get him for cheaper. So we're going to let him hit free agency, see if maybe we can upgrade or get him for cheaper. And then other than our punter, we're not going to be re-signing anybody else. So we're going to have a decent amount of money to work with in free agency here. Okay, our punter doesn't even want to re-sign, but we're going to have some good money to work with in free agency to try to upgrade this team. And yeah, let's hop into free agency. Hopefully there's a good tight end, maybe a good pass rusher. Brock Purdy is a free agent. Ooh, Jalen Petrie wouldn't be a bad signing. We can move him to strong safety, see if he could play over there. But of course, he's not interested in the team because why would he be? Literally all the players we could use aren't interested in the team. Kyle Pitts would be great. Jalen Phillips would be great. Getting Romeo Doubs as our wide receiver 3 right now, so we don't have to draft one, actually might be a good idea. All right, so in free agency, we're going to go for Jalen Petrie, who we had to slightly overpay because he's not interested. We're going to go for Kyle Pitts, who we also had to overpay for because he's not interested. And Jalen Phillips, who guess what? We had to overpay because he's not interested. But we're also going to go for Romeo Doubs, who we're currently tied with a top offer for. And then we're going to go for Hassan Reddick just as like a safety blanket in case we don't get Jalen Phillips. And he's also very good in this game. So we're going to go ahead and send all these offers through, see if we're able to sign any of these players. So the 3 players that weren't interested all signed, and none of them signed with us, so that sucks a little bit. So I guess I am glad we're trying to get Hassan Reddick. Nobody else has offered him yet. Nobody had offered for Brandon Scherf, so we're going to try to bring him back on a pretty cheap deal as well, and I'm still hoping that we can hopefully get Romeo Doubs. So we're going to send these through. So we got Romeo Doubs, we got Hassan Reddick. Looks like the Vikings want Brandon Scherf, and I could try to match it, but I do think drafting a guard won't be too hard. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to match what the Vikings are offering. So we got a receiver 3. We got a pretty good pass rusher. I'm sure Hassan Reddick will kind of just get rotated in, but Leonard Williams was a starting pass rusher last year. It said he was our rushing DN. So if we have Hassan Reddick coming off the edge, then that means Leonard Williams can be playing in the interior, which is definitely going to be better off for the team. So let's get to the draft. We'll have an extra 2nd round pick. We'll have all the corners scouted, which is probably what we'll use our 1st round pick on. We need to get a guard at some point. I think we're cooking though. Oh, I forgot we don't have a tight end. So we need to draft a tight end as well. But outside of that, I think we're setting up Jackson Dart to succeed. He has Jackson Smith and Jigba, Romeo Doubs, and Isaiah Bond all to throw to. He has Kenneth Walker. We need to get him a tight end, hopefully another guard, but I think Haynes could work as a guard for this season. Got us on Reddick. I'm going to go ahead and move him up to a linebacker. So I do think that helps our pass rushing group a little bit. We kind of need to add one more DB, and we need a safety. So the holes on this team right now are guard, tight end, safety, and corner. Corner's probably the least of my concerns because having Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen does make me feel comfortable, but I don't like that our 3rd corner is a 72 overall. So I think we're just going to stick and pick here. We're just going to hop straight into the draft. Normally when corner is a strength of the position, there will be a couple round 1 talents that are pretty far down the board. So there is a world where we could maybe wait till the 2nd round to get our DB and still get a pretty good one. Yeah, like look how many round 1 DBs are left. There's a round 1 to 2 talent that's not projected to go to the 3rd or 4th round. So we're definitely going to hold off on DB for this round. I think we should either get a safety or a tight end. And I actually really like JT Beckham. He's 22 years old out of Wisconsin. His physicals aren't crazy, but he has A awareness, A catching, B play rec, B pursuit, B tackle. However, he is a zone safety and his zone coverage is C to F, which worries me a little bit. I think Kenny Carney might be a bit of a safer pick. He doesn't have as many good skills as the other safety, but he's a zone safety and actually has B zone coverage. So if this guy can have a dev trait, I think it'll be a valuable pick. We really need a safety right now, so we're going for a need once again. Ranked 51 in true value, not great, but I think he could have a dev trait, which he does, and he's going to be a starter, so I do think that was a pretty decent pick. I do think it could have been better, obviously. But we have 2 second rounders to work with here, so if there's a good tight end available, that might be the pick right here. I need to make sure that there's a lot of those DBs left, though. Yeah, there are plenty of corners left, so we're going to try to see if we can find a good tight end this round. Honestly, the tight end I like the most isn't projected to go till pretty late. Elite agility, great speed. A spec catch, A short route, A catch in traffic, A awareness. I think we go DB first. This guy should be here at the end of the second round. It'll be a reach, but he looks good enough to make it worth it. So we're going to go DB here. There is a round 1 talent still left on the board. And Tyler Randolph, he's 22 years old. A man coverage, B press, B zone coverage, B awareness. This guy actually looks really good. I think this guy could be like top 10. Nope, but he is in the top 22 in the class, and he has hidden dev, and he'll be a starter just like the other guy we drafted. So we're going to reach a little bit on that tight end here in the end of the second round, and then we'll use our 3rd round pick to hopefully get a guard, and then I'll let the CPU have the rest. Yeah, we're going to go with Seattle Farrell. I actually really like him, and if he has a dev trait, this guy's going to be a demon. Ranked 14 in true value. That is a great pick, and he, of course, has hidden dev. So let's go into the 3rd round here. Let's try to just take the best offensive lineman on the board, and then I'll hand the rest over to the CPU. I think the best lineman is going to be Nick Freeman. He's 22 years old out of Notre Dame. Great strength, great speed, elite change of direction, elite excel. A run block finesse, A lead block, B pass block. Okay, this guy actually looks really good. We're going to go with Nick Freeman. I think this guy could even be a round 1 talent. No, he's ranked 56, but another hidden dev, another good pick. We're going to go ahead and let the CPU have the rest. I think that was a fairly successful draft. We added a little bit more to the defense. We got a tight end for Jackson Dart to throw to. I wouldn't even hate going like Chiefs playbook, trying to break out our tight end right now, but I do like, I don't know. I think we're going to stick with the same playbook. I think we're setting Jackson Dart up for success. All the picks we made were hidden dev too, so that definitely helps. The safety we got is only a 74. I think we reached a little bit, but he's going to be a starter, so I think it's valuable. The corners we got is a 75 overall. We got a 76 overall tight end, a 73 overall center. The CPU got us a 75 overall running back. This guy might also have hidden dev. He does not, but he's a power back, so if there's a world out there where Zach Charbonnet ends up moving on, so we'll have a replacement for him. It's all just going to come down to Jackson Dart, because I think we built a pretty good roster around him. I can't lie. Yeah, just take a look at this roster, man. We added a lot of... Ooh, and the center that we drafted is actually a 76 overall at guard, so he's going to be a starting guard this year. Look at the offense we have built around Jackson Dart. We got a 76 overall rookie tight end. We got a new guard who's going to be a rookie, and then outside of that, a great offensive line. One of the best running backs in the league, a very good young receiving core, and then we have a very good defense on the other side of the ball as well. I'm going to mess with these specialists just a little bit, but once we're done with that, we're ready to get into the season. So for this season, we're going to go ahead and set our season goal to make the playoffs. We do have a first-year starting quarterback, so if we don't make the playoffs, I won't be too disappointed. But for scouts, I think we're definitely going to try to scout some pass rushers. Boye Mafe did have a good season last year, but I don't think he's going to do that every season. And then our other pass rusher is Hassan Reddick. So we're going to have our tier 3 scout be for DNs and outside linebackers. And just like that, we're ready for year number 2. Jackson Dart's first season as a starting quarterback in the NFL. How will he do? Let's get to the midseason and let's find out. All right, and 3-3 at the midseason is not terrible. Basically the same we were doing with Geno Smith. We have a top 10 offense in the league and a pretty good defense as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at everybody's numbers, specifically Jackson Dart. And these are honestly pretty good numbers. 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. I will definitely take that. Kenneth Walker is, of course, going crazy, averaging almost 5 yards per carry. JSN with almost 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. Romeo Dobbs is doing great in his first year here. Isaiah Bonds continue to play well. And Seattle Farrell is a rookie with almost 200 yards and a touchdown. I'll definitely take that as well. And then defensively, we are getting to the quarterback a little bit. I don't know why Roy Robertson Harris is our leading sacker. Let's not get too much into that. Leonard Williams with 3 sacks, 4 TFLs. Boye Mafe with 2 sacks. Honestly, I expected Hassan Reddick to do more. He's actually very good in this game, but he's just sucking it up right now. And we already got 2 picks out of Nick Bolton. So it looks like everybody's playing decent. I would like better numbers out of our defense, but I am happy to see that Jackson Dart is actually playing pretty damn good. Let's see if there's any players we need to re-sign here at the midseason. Charles Cross is ready for his contract, and he's not interested. So we're probably going to have to give him a little bit of a bag. I'm going to offer him 4 years, $88 million, which is enough to get him to re-sign. We have to re-sign Zach Charbonnet with our CPU drafting a pretty good rookie running back last year. I think we're going to let Zach Charbonnet go. Derek Hall isn't doing anything too crazy. We are trying to upgrade pass rushers in this year's draft, so I'm not going to re-sign him right now. Leonard Williams has actually been playing very good, and he's not asking for much money. I'll give him 1 year, $14 million. He can't say yes right now for whatever reason. Uchenna Nwosu, again, we're looking for better pass rushers. Same with Hassan Reddick. I don't think we're going to re-sign any of these players here right now. We'll definitely peep back at the end of the season. And left outside linebacker is actually a strength of the class. So we're going to set outside linebacker as our scouting national focus. And we're going to try to get the best pass rusher available in this year's draft. But let's go ahead and get to the end of the season. Let's see if we can maybe make the playoffs in Jackson Dart's first season I doubt it, but it would be pretty cool. If we could go like 8-9, that would honestly be enough for me. But let's get to the end of the season and let's find out. And honestly, we went out in Seahawks fashion. We went 9-8 and barely missed the playoffs. We were the only team in our division that went 9-8 and missed the playoffs. The Cardinals went 9-8. The Rams went 9-8. And I guess we just lost to them, and we were the one that missed the playoffs, so that sucks. But let's see how everybody did. If we had a winning record, Jackson Dart had to have put up pretty decent numbers. Almost 4,000 passing yards, 34 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. If you can get the interceptions down just a little bit, I think we'll be fine, and these are very promising numbers for his first season. Kenneth Walker with another great year, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. We had two 1,000-yard receivers, JSN with 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, Isaiah Bond with 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs almost got 1,000 yards as well with 974 and 8 touchdowns. And Farrell as a rookie wasn't bad either, 570 yards and 3 touchdowns. Defensively, did we do better at all in the second half of the year? Nick Bolton led our team in tackles with 102. We had a TFL, a sack and a half, and 3 picks. Leonard Williams locked in the second half of the year. He got 9.5 sacks and 10 TFLs, 7 sacks out of Byron Murphy and 12 TFLs, which means all of our sacks are coming from the interior, which is not really what you want to see. Boye Mafe was decent, 5.5 sacks, 5.5 out of Hassan Reddick. I don't know who this guy is and why he's getting so many reps, but he's playing pretty good, so I guess that's fine. Derek Hall got 4.5 sacks. I mean, we don't really have one player with a lot of sacks, but we have a lot of players with a decent amount. I would bet we were honestly in the upper half of the league when it comes to sacks. We got 3 picks out of Nick Bolton, 3 out of Witherspoon, 2 out of Tariq Woolen, and then 1 out of a few players as well. MVP this year went to Patrick Mahomes. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Saquon Barkley. Defensive Player of the Year goes to DeMarcus Lawrence. Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Alec Decker. We actually came in second with Farrell, which sucks because that would have been really big for the team. Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Sean Thomas, and we came in 9th with Kenny Carney, whoever that is. See, the thing that sucks about going 9-8 is, like, it is good that we're developing Jackson Dart because the better we play, the better he's going to develop. But if we're not going to make the playoffs, it would almost just be better to just suck so we could get a really good draft pick. And especially because I'm trying to get a pass rusher, if we want one of the top guys, we're not going to be able to do that going 9-8. But I might be willing to trade up the board here after a 9-8 season with Jackson Dart's first year. We got a Chiefs-Lions Super Bowl. The Chiefs win. Thanks, game. That's so much fun. Patrick Mahomes gets another ring. Let's take a look at the roster, see how everybody developed. I want to see, is Jackson Dart like up to like an 80 overall? He had a pretty good season. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, he's sitting at an 82 overall. Kenneth Walker continues to develop. JSN continues to develop. It looks like Ryan Kelly retired, but we got a lot of dev ups on defense. Oh, that's who Carney is. I'm an idiot, but Carney has superstar, so that was a good pick. Nick Bolton goes up to superstar. If we can get a good pass rusher on this team, I think we'll be set. Because we have good D tackles, we still have Leonard Williams, and if we do lose him, we still have Byron Murphy and Deion Walker. I don't know. I actually think we're in a very good position here. I think we're like a pass rusher away from being one of the best teams in the league. Because we had a top 10 offense this year. But we do need to try to re-sign Leonard Williams with how much he's been balling. We have Byron Murphy's 5th year. We'll go ahead and pick that up. We're going to let Zach Charbonnet go. We're going to let Derek Hall go. I do want to try to get back Leonard Williams, so I'm going to give him like $500,000 more. We're going to give him 1 year, $14.5 million, which he does take. Then I think we're going to let go of pretty much everybody else that's here. Yo, we have Teddy Bridgewater. I would re-sign him, but he's just going to say no, but Teddy Bridgewater's the go. We're going to have a decent amount of money once again to work with in free agency. If there can be a good pass rusher here in free agency and just make my life easier, where honestly, if there is one, I could still draft one, but just show me some good free agents that actually want to play for the team. We don't need Brian Branch literally at all, but Jesus, that is tempting. Okay, we're going to have a very weird free agency. I am going to go for Brian Branch. Julian Love is 29 years old. If we do get Brian Branch, we're going to trade Julian Love and see what we can turn him into. We're going to try to get George Karlaftis. He's not interested in the team at all. I gave him a bag, and we're tied for his top offer. And then we're going to go for Elton Jenkins because then we can just move our center we drafted back to center, and he can play guard for us. But I think we'll get Brian Branch, hopefully, and I think we could get Elton Jenkins. I don't think we'll get Karlaftis. Let's go ahead and send these through. Well, we didn't get Brian Branch, so I guess we're keeping Julian Love around. That does suck. And we do need to give Elton Jenkins a better offer, which I am willing to do. Other teams are busting my ball. Fortunately, I have infinite money, and now we're the top offer. And if he doesn't accept, my fist is going through my monitor. Thank God. So we did beef up the offensive line a little bit more. I would have liked to do more, but maybe there's a world where we can trade for a pass rusher this year, or there's just one that will fall to us, or maybe we even consider trading up in the draft to try to get one of the top guys. I'm not sure what approach we're going to take, but I'm telling you, we are one pass rusher away from being a very good team. Just trust the process. All right, yeah, our offensive line is great. Offense is honestly perfect. Our offense is really good. It's just this defense we need to work on. For a second, I thought we lost Nick Bolton, and I lost my mind. We do still have Boye Mafe. So if we just get one pass rusher, I think it'll help out a lot. So yeah, that's our #1 priority. Every other position seems to be perfectly set. It's literally just pass rusher. So let's see if maybe we need to move up the board to get one. See, there's a top 5 talent projected to go at #3. And he's like the only really good pass rusher that's available. Like there's a round 1 talent that we could draft later, but I just don't think he's going to be nearly as good as this top 5 guy. The question is, are we going to be able to get up to number 3 without giving up basically everything we have? I also would hate a world where we trade up to number 3 and the game's lying with the mock draft, because it says he's going to go to number 3, but you never know. One of these top 2 teams could take him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the draft. I'm going to sim to pick number 3, and if McGee's still on the board, I'm going to see if we can try to trade up. And if we can't without giving up too much, I might trade for a pass rusher instead. All right, so he is still on the board here at number 3. So let's see if we can trade. We have pick 15, so I don't think it should take too much to get up there. I would even be willing to give up my first rounder for next year. All right, so we traded our first for this year and next season for pick number 3. We also got their 7th round pick in 2029. I wanted to make sure to get every little bit of value that I could. But we are going to get a top 5 pass rusher in this year's draft class. Mitchell McGee, 21 years old, out of Tennessee, elite excel, great speed, elite strength, A play rec, A power moves, B finesse moves, B block shedding. This guy is a god. He might even be an 80 overall as a rookie, and he's probably going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, go up another dev, and this guy's going to be legendary. 85 speed and 85 strength with 91 excel at 6'3", 267 pounds. That's a really good pick. Now, with us getting our lockdown pass rusher, while I've been sitting here yapping about how we're 1 pass rusher away, I really wouldn't hate trading this pick away and trying to get some extra draft capital for next season, since we won't have a first round pick. And the Dolphins are offering us a 2nd and a 3rd round pick for next season. I will definitely take that. It's going to be helpful with us not having a first round pick next year. I will definitely take that. So we do have a pick here in the 3rd round. I really don't know what I'm going to go with. I might try to draft a safety because Julian Love's 29 and there might be a world where we lose him soon. Kareem Carey doesn't look terrible. His physicals suck, but his B pursuit, A hit power, B tackle, A to C block shedding. He's going to be a low overall because of his awareness, but he's not going to be starting anytime soon, and this is just kind of getting ourselves ready for the future. So we're going to go with Kareem Carey here. That was a terrible pick. Let's just ignore that and pretend it never happened, and let's hand the rest over to the CPU. I'm really glad we got that pass rusher. That's all I care about. We even got some extra capital for next year. We're on a good track right now. Christian Kirk was traded to the Texans for a 7th round pick. I thought he got released. What? Moment of truth. What overall is our pass rusher? I'm guessing 81. 82 overall. Ignore this pick. The CPU even got us a 72 overall middle linebacker, which we actually could use right now. But an 82 overall pass rusher as a rookie, that is definitely worth giving up our 1st round pick for next year. I'm very happy with that. Because if I were to try to trade for somebody who's going to end up being as good as this player, like, I don't know, a Micah Parsons, Aiden Hutchinson, I would have to give up, okay, maybe that's too far, but like, I tried giving up a first for like a 34 overall Trey Hendrickson one time, and it was declined. So this game sucks, basically, is what I'm trying to get at here. Yeah, our defense is actually complete now. So we are going to have a very good defense this season, which I think is what was slightly holding us back last year. We need to get a kicker and punter before the year starts, and I think I need to mess with the specialist a little bit because it does have Leonard Williams as our right edge rusher, but I'm going to mess with these a little bit. We're going to get into year number 3 of this rebuild, and I think we're going to easily make the playoffs. So I think for this year, I'm going to leave the scouts the same because I don't know how much longer Boye Mafe is going to cut it, and I also don't know how much longer we're going to have Leonard Williams. So we're going to leave Dean an outside linebacker as the scout. We're going to once again set the goal to make the playoffs. And now we're ready to hop into year number 3. I think this is actually going to be a very good season. I'm very hopeful going into the year. We're going to go ahead and sim to the midseason, see how Jackson Dart and the Seattle Seahawks open up year number 3. I'm hoping we can have a winning record at the midseason, and if we do, I am very confident that we'll make the playoffs. And just like that, Jackson Dart and the Seattle Seahawks are 5-2 at the midseason. We're not winning the division because the Niners are going crazy, but I'm very happy with how this season has started. Thank God. Jackson Dart is top 10 in the NFL in passing yards with 1,700, 11 touchdowns, a few too many interceptions. Hopefully he can chill out the second half of the year. I do have faith in him. Kenneth Walker continues to go crazy, averaging 4.3 yards per carry with 5 touchdowns. Isaiah Bond's the leading receiver right now, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. JSN with 500 yards and 4 touchdowns as well. And are we getting any pressure? I especially am curious how our rookie pass rushers doing. Leonard Williams with 3.5 sacks and 2 out of Mitchell McGee. Nothing too crazy. Honestly, even if this guy doesn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year, he definitely has Superstar or X Factor. So if he doesn't put up crazy numbers, that's okay, but I do still want to see him putting up better numbers in his rookie season. We have the first defense in points, so I will definitely take that. Let's see what players we need to re-sign here. We need to re-sign Devin Witherspoon. I have a feeling all of our expensive players... Do I have a lisp or something? I have a feeling all of our expensive players are going to be here this season, so we're going to re-sign Devin Witherspoon, make sure we get him locked down. We have to re-sign JSN as well. We're going to give him 4 years, $100 million. He also re-signs. We need to re-sign Julian Love. I'd like to get him on like a 2-year deal. I'll up his money so that he's actually interested in taking him. I'm going to give him 2 years, $31 million. He wants to be around longer than that. You know what? That's the best problem to have. Abraham Lucas is somebody we definitely need to keep around as well. We're going to give him 2 years, $30 million, which he accepts. Who is this guy? Manuel Cardona. He's some superstar outside linebacker that I guess was drafted by the CPU. Will Fry's another player I'd like to have around. I'll give him a 3-year deal worth $27 million, which he accepts. Leonard Williams, we'll hold off on the end of the year. If he keeps playing how he's playing, I will definitely be bringing him back. And then the rest of these players we can come back to at the end of the season as well. I would like to get Julian Love back, so we'll try to make sure we lock him down too. And then outside linebacker and D-end are both a strength of the class. I'm going to go with D-end because if we do lose Leonard Williams, this will scout players like him, and it'll be scouting pass rushers as well. So I think that's going to be the most value we could get out of the national focus. And now we're ready to get to the end of the season. We started off 5-2. If we can have a very good second half of the season, we could maybe even win the division or get the 1 seed. So let's get to the end of the season and see how it goes. We just lost 3 games in a row. It is not looking good. And after starting off 5-2, we go 8-9 and don't make the playoffs. Shocker, bro. This shit is so stupid. Jackson Dart threw too many interceptions. Again, not enough touchdowns. Maybe it's time for a playbook change, but I don't think the playbook is the problem. I think I'm just getting bent over by the game. Kenneth Walker went crazy again. JSN with almost 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns. Isaiah Bond with another 1,000-yard season. Romeo Doubs with another 900-yard season. Nick Bolton with another good year, 120 tackles, 2 sacks. We got 11 sacks out of Mitchell McGee as a rookie. That should be enough for Defensive Rookie of the Year. We got 6 out of Byron Murphy, 5.5 out of Leonard Williams, and 13 TFLs. 2 picks out of Kenny Carney, 2 out of Witherspoon, and then 1 out of a couple of players like... We had the 7th offense in yards. What was our defense looking like? 18th. Like, I feel like we should have been so much better than 8-9. Like, that's kind of frustrating, but it's whatever. MVP goes to Josh Allen. Offensive Player of the Year is going to go to Puka Nacua. Defensive Player of the Year goes to TJ Edwards. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Ruben Newell, who's on the Giants, and we do win Defensive Rookie of the Year with Mitchell McGee, which I guess is good. He's going to keep progressing faster, but I don't think we're going to do more than 1 or 2 more years. I really thought we were going to make the playoffs this year, and then I was just going to do 1 more season. And then we went from 5-2 to 8-9, and we were genuinely losing to teams that were terrible. Like, we lost to the Vikings, we lost to the Cardinals. Like, it just made no sense. It's all right. We're going to stay positive. It's all right. And the Chiefs make the Super Bowl again. Cool. Let's say lost. The Rams won. Brock Purdy's on the Rams now and won Super Bowl MVP. Cool, I guess. I mean, do we next season just consider running the Chiefs playbook and just letting Jackson Dart just air it out? That might be the move. I mean, he has a lot of weapons to work with. I think Farrell could do good in the Chiefs playbook as well. But yeah, McGee goes up to X Factor. Nick Bolton's now an X Factor. I think Leonard Williams will be a little bit cheaper to bring back. We'll probably re-sign him. This game is so ass. Like, this team is so good. So we have the 5th year for Isaiah Bond. We're going to go ahead and pick that up. We're going to try to bring back Julian Love. He didn't like our last offer, so we'll give him 3 years, $48 million. He said he wanted a longer deal. I gave him a longer deal, and he doesn't accept it. Dude, it's all right. How much would a tag be for him? $19 million? That's definitely more than we were going to pay him. We'll try to get him back in free agency. We'll pick up Deion Walker's 5th year. We'll bring back Leonard Williams on a little 1-year deal for $12.5 million. And then the rest of these players can all walk. We once again will have a decent amount of money to work with in free agency. I mean, maybe there will be a really good pass rusher, and that can be our boy Mafe replacement. We don't have a 1st-round pick this year. I don't know. I don't know what else we can add to this team. We do need to replace Julian Love. Like, Jahmyr Gibbs is great, but this is the last thing we need right now. We have Kenneth Walker, who has been playing fantastic every season. Honestly, if we were able to get Edgerrin Cooper or Jack Campbell and have like the best linebacker duo in the league, that would be pretty cool. So in free agency, we are going to try to bring back Julian Love. He lost interest. We offered him a lot of money. We're still tied with the Panthers, so we're going to go for Jeremy Chin as well as like a safety blanket. And then we're going to try to get Jack Campbell. We could have like the best linebacker duo in the league. And I'm just going to go for Trayvon Diggs. I don't know. I guess you can't have too many corners, so we're just going to go and send these offers through, see who all we get. We got Julian Love back. We got Jack Campbell. We got Jeremy Chin, who we don't really need, but I mean, once again, you can never have too many players. And we are still tied for the top offer for Trayvon Diggs. I don't think we'll get him, but we literally don't need him whatsoever. And now that we have Jeremy Chin, he could even play like nickel corner for us if we really need him to. We have a 90 overall team, and we still have the draft ahead of us. I have no idea what I'm going to do in the draft. I'm probably just going to take the best player off the board every time, regardless of position. But yeah, I mean, this might be the last year of the rebuild. If we can have a pretty decent season, I'll consider doing one more. It's just going to depend on how this year goes, honestly. Once again, the offense is perfect. We don't really need to touch it. I wouldn't hate drafting a few offensive linemen for depth because Jenkins and Will Fries are both older. Defensively, maybe get like a defensive lineman because Leonard Williams, once again, he's still aging. I think Carney might end up being our nickel corner. He is superstar, but Jeremy Chin is a higher overall, and I'm going to do whatever we can. Oh, we still do need another pass rusher. I kind of forgot about that. I don't think Boye Mafe is going to be enough. I wonder if there's a decent pass rusher that we could get in the 2nd round, but we have multiple picks, so I wouldn't hate trading up. There is a round 1 to 2 talent power rusher, not projected to go to the 2nd to 3rd round. elite strength, great speed, great excel. If Garfield is available with our pick in the second round, that's who we're going to take. We do have a very early pick in the second round as well, so I think he should still be available. All right, he's still here. We're good. Gene Garfield, welcome to the Seahawks. We'll probably leave him on the D-line. I do still think he'll probably be starting coming off the edge. But Gene Garfield was ranked 46 in true value. He has it in dev. I think that was a pretty good pick. I'm thinking with our next pick in the second round, I might just go offensive line. Like I said earlier, our offensive linemen are on the older side. And there's actually still a pretty decent tackle left on the board, which you don't come across very often. I know this guy doesn't look great, but tackles in these draft classes are never that good. So this guy will probably be like 50 to 60 in true value, but I think it'll be a good pick. Yeah, he's 80 in true value. Expected him to have a dev trade, though. I did reach a little bit on that pick, but normally in the second round, the only tackles that are left are like day 3 UDFA guys, so I was willing to reach a little bit for that pick. Like I said, I'm just going to try to go with the best player off the board. This guy definitely isn't the best player on the board, but he has a play rec, a tackle, and elite strength at D tackle, and he's 22 years old, so I'm just going to go ahead and take him. There's really not much of a thought process going into these picks. 95 in true value and hidden dev. You can never have too many D linemen, I guess. And then this pick in the third round will probably be the last one before I hand it off to the CPU. Wow, this is a really athletic corner who genuinely sucks at everything, but that sounds very pleasing to me. Ranked 145 in true value. I feel like those are players, though, that should have hidden dev. I know I obviously reached on that. Like, I genuinely just don't want to draft right now because I'm angry at the game. But players like that would be cool to give hidden dev because they're probably going to be a really low overall, and it's going to be hard for them to develop anyway, but they're just such a raw athlete that I think they should be able to develop. So offense looks pretty much the same as we saw earlier. Still insane offense. I think we're going to try out the Chiefs playbook this year and just try to let Jackson Dart air it out. We made the D-line even better. I really like this defense. We are a 91 overall team, by the way, before the season has even started. If we miss the playoffs again, I'm never playing this game ever again. We do need a kicker and punter once again. I'll work on that here in a second. I'll work on these. I'll work on the specialists here as well. All right, I got us a kicker and a punter. I adjusted the specialists. We're going to get straight to the end of this season, but let's get to the playoffs. We are a 91 overall team right now. If we are not in the playoffs, I don't know what I'm going to do. I also switched to the Chiefs playbook. We're going to let Jackson Dart air it out this year. Let's see how we do. For a second, when I saw the screen pop up, I thought we missed the playoffs, but we are 12-5, so I'm pretty sure we got the 1 seed. We did, thank God. I guess we should have just switched to the Chiefs playbook forever ago. Jackson Dart threw for 4,600 yards, 50 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. That's what we've been looking for. Kenneth Walker still got over 1,000 rushing yards. Did not get many touchdowns this year because Jackson Dart threw 50. JSN with 1,200 yards, 23 touchdowns. Isaiah Bonds with 1,100 yards, 1,000 out of Romeo Doubs and Farrell, even with 700 yards. Jack Campbell led the team in tackles this year with 137. He also had 6 interceptions, 5 TFLs, and a sack and a half. 13 sacks out of Gene Garfield as a rookie. Holy shit. Our last 2 draft picks have been so good. 12.5 out of McGee. Took me that long to draft 2 good pass rushers. I guess that's what I needed this whole time. As we saw earlier, 6 picks out of Jack Campbell. We got 4 out of Jeremy Chin, 3 out of Witherspoon, 3 out of Julian Love, 3 out of Tyler Randolph. Very good season. Jackson Dart probably didn't win the MVP, but he should be up here somewhere. All right, 50 touchdowns, only gets him 6th place. This game's terrible. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Puka Nacua. We came in 2nd with JSN. What did Puka Nacua do? Because JSN had over 20 receiving touchdowns. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Jack Campbell. We also came in 9th with Gene Garfield as a rookie. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Kelvin Dixon on the Lions, and we obviously won Defensive Rookie of the Year with Gene Garfield, but I don't care about any of that. I care about this playoff run. We're going to go ahead and see who we're taking on in the divisional. I'm going to hop in and play a drive because I do want to use Jackson Dart. That sounds pretty fun. We're going to be taking on the Chicago Bears here in the divisional. I'm going to hop in and play the opening drive. We're a 92 overall team, and they're an 88 overall team. There's really no reason we should lose this game. We also have home field advantage. So unless I, throw a pick 6 or something here in the drive that I play, we should be good. And our defense got to stop on the opening drive. Let's hop in and see if we can cook something up here. Let's not forget, we have Kenneth Walker. He has been so good for us this video. He's been the one player that has consistently been so dominant. Let's hand it. All right. I'm locking in, bro. I'm locking in. I'm Nick Merckx in this shit. All right, let me stop Nick Merckxing. I need to give y'all some commentary. Good run by Kenneth Walker there. I kind of want to throw a bomb to Isaiah Bond. I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, he's fast. And it looks like he's on man coverage right now. Let's see if Jackson Dart can throw a dart right here. That's a good throw. That might be a touchdown. That might be a touchdown. He's just too quick. He's too quick. You can't keep up with him. Jackson Dart's throwing bombs. That's a perfect opening drive for our first playoff game of the video. It looks like we get another stop on defense as well. If we can get down and score, that'd be great. But of course we don't. And of course we allowed the Bears to tie it 7-7. We now get down the field and do nothing. We get the ball back to open the half. We get a touchdown to go up by 7. Bears tie it 14-14. We get another touchdown to take a lead. We get the ball back with 2 minutes left. And what just happened? Whatever. Can we get down? Okay, we just got to stop in overtime. We should win. I don't know why Madden was trying to make us lose that game so bad. I don't know what happened on that one play touchdown or whatever they just got. They were trying to come back, but we are in the NFC Championship. Thank God. So Seahawks fans, apparently it's either going to be 9-8, miss the playoffs, or make the NFC Championship. There's no in between for you guys. Or I guess we did make the playoffs earlier with Geno, but that doesn't count. Who are we going to be taking on in the NFC Championship? Don't show me like the Lions or something. Dallas, this is a winnable game. We're going to hop in and watch this one as well. Honestly, I'm going to play another drive because if I'm able to help this team make a playoff push so we can win a Super Bowl for this video, that would be great. I know all my Seahawks fans out there want to see it. I know you, Grant. I know you want to see it. Dak Prescott is still the quarterback for the Cowboys. We're going to hop in and play this opening drive because I make the rules here and I want to win a Super Bowl. Oh, when it's raining, should we just feed Kenneth Walker just over and over again? In real life, with how good our defense is, with a rainy playoff game like this, there is no reason we should lose. But yeah, I think I might just pound the rock with Kenneth Walker here. Isaiah Bond does look like he could be one-on-one, but I don't want to be a cheeser like I was last time. Let's see if we can cook with Kenneth Walker. He breaks a tackle and picks up the easy first down. All right, if we could get like 3 or 4 yards here, make this a very easy third down, that would be great. Ooh, or just pick it up. All right, 3rd and inches. This should be free with us having Kenneth Walker. I mean, how cheesy is it if I just keep running the ball over and over again? Like, is that boring? But I just really want to make sure we win this playoff game because if we lose, I'm going to be so sad. Also, why are the Cowboys in the NFC Championship? I thought, like, simulation was supposed to be realistic every now and then. Okay, a touch pass could be pretty cool, especially to Isaiah Bond because he got some wheels. So let's see what happens here. Bro, Kenneth Walker, get out of my way. I could have taken that more to the outside, but I was worried that Micah Parsons was going to eat me. Dude, Micah Parsons is flying around the field. We need 1 yard here. What else will we do other than hand it to K9? Hey, so who is this guy? Whatever, I trust him. I trust him. I knew I trusted him. I don't know who Addison is. This is probably that running back that the CPU drafted a couple years ago. All right, I'll try to throw the ball. If I throw an interception, I might never make a video again. JSN looks like he's there. Bro, is this Spider-Man or what? This just in. Cowboys drafting Spider-Man. JSN is wide open. Go. Bro, come on. All right, well, this is Kenneth Walker territory. We're on the 1 yard line. What play am I running? Why am I not just going to hand it off and run up the gut right through the A-gap with Kenneth Walker? Boing. Touchdown on the board, 7-0 in the NFC Championship. We're going to the Super Bowl. It looks like the Cowboys get a touchdown on their opening drive to tie it 7-7. We don't get down the field and do anything. We go down by a touchdown. We don't get anything going in the into the first half. I can't talk. We tied it 14-14. The Cowboys then kicked the field goal to take a 3-point lead. We go up by 4 with the touchdown. We get the ball back. Oh, it's getting sketchy. We get the ball back. That should be game. And Jackson Dart and the Seattle Seahawks are moving on to the Super Bowl. Let's go. This is going to be a long video, but this is the last year, thankfully. Let's see who we're taking on in the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at the roster, because with Jackson Dart throwing 50 touchdowns, he might have finally gotten a dev up and not be normal dev anymore. Playing the Ravens, that's really scary. I can't lie. We might lose this game, but you know what? We made it to the Super Bowl, and that's what we're here for. Jackson Dart does go up to star dev. JSN is now an X factor, and this defense is insane. Garfield, superstar. Leonard Williams is obviously still superstar. All of our starting DBs are superstar, including Jeremy Chin. McGee is X factor. Yo, this defense is broken. This defense is so good. This is the Legion of Boom 2. Let's hop into the Super Bowl. If I play to drive the first 2 games, you'd be dumb to think I'm not going to play another drive here in the Super Bowl. But then we'll obviously let the CPU handle the rest. But I would really like to win this Super Bowl and wrap this video up. We actually do get a stop on the Ravens opening drive. So if we can get down and get a touchdown here, I think this will be free. Romeo Doubs is actually going to be taking this touch pass. I don't know how I feel about it, but we're in too deep, so we're just going to try it. Oh, we actually got some decent... Yo, like, you're getting caught by Odafe Owe as a receiver. That's just embarrassing, bro. All right, I like this. I think this is going to work. Romeo Doubs is butt naked. Yo, can you just catch it like a normal person? Like, even I know not to catch the ball like that. Do we trust Kenneth Walker to get these 2 yards here, or do I lob it up to Jordan Addison? No, I'm going to trust Kenneth Walker. Come on, just 2 yards. Just 2 yards. 2 yards, Kenneth Walker. Come on. Oh, yeah. That's free. I don't know how Madubuike or whoever that was got us right there, but we got the first down, and that's all I'm here for. This is going to be Isaiah Bond here. If it's not Isaiah Bond, I don't know what it's going to be. Oh, it's JSN. It's JSN. Go! By the way, it's not on all Madden, it's on all pro. Like I said last video, you can cry about it. I'll do what I want. We're on the board 7-0. What a great start to the Super Bowl. And we get another stop here on defense. Of course, we don't do anything on offense because why would we? But we get once again another stop that kind of looked like a goal line stand. Oh no. Austin Seibert missing field goals. That's pretty cool. But we do get the ball back. We obviously don't do anything from that deep in our own territory. But we do get the ball to open the second half. We get down the field. We get a field goal. It is now a 2-possession game. And we got another stop on defense. Are we looking at a shutout here? We're up 17-0 with another stop. 20-0. The Ravens did ruin the shutout, but it is looking like that's about all she wrote. And the Seattle Seahawks are now Super Bowl champions once again, led by Jackson Dart. This roster is insane. All right, so Seahawks, all you need to do, draft Jackson Dart in the second round, trade DK, get some extra draft picks, and in a few years, you'll be Super Bowl champions. But that is going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Do not forget, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we're doing a giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed to the channel, take a screenshot, and send it to me on Instagram, which will be right here. There'll also be a link in the description. And if you send me a DM on Instagram of you being within the first 1,000 subscribers, you have a chance to win a free NFL jersey. Also, feel free to comment any teams you'd like to see me rebuild with any free agents or any draft prospects. But that's all for this one. Thanks again for watching. Deuces.